Hello, everyone, and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are here to talk about QuickBooks Point of Sale End of Life and that recent announcement from Intuit. And what does that mean? Everyone here on today's session is using QuickBooks Point of Sale. Actually, some of you have just already started your transition to our Celerant software. And so you're just here looking to learn more. But we are going to get clarity today. There's a lot of information out there. There's a lot of confusion. And so our goal for you today, whether you use our software or are planning to use our software or not, is to leave this session having a better understanding of what is happening and when and how it will impact your retail business. And so with that, let's kick it off. Some quick introductions first. My name is Michelle Salerno, and I head the marketing team here at Celerant. I work out of our main office, which is in New York. I'm working from home today in New Jersey. I've been with Celerant now for about 18 years, and I'm just excited to be here and meet all of you. Scott?
Yeah, I've been with Celerant since that picture was taken there in the center, which was about 20 years ago, I think.
I think more like 30 years ago, but.
Well, whatever. But I work out of Reading, Pennsylvania in a home office as well, and I'm in sales.
And Diana?
No, that's all.
I've been with Celerant for 23 years. I am in the training department, and I work out of Hattiesburg, Mississippi.
Fantastic. So some quick information about us at Celerant. I mentioned that I work out of our main office in New York, but we do have 7 offices, 4 of which are in the United States, a couple international. And so we have an office, our main office is in New York. We're also in California and Georgia and Texas. And of course, we have team members all over the country, as Scott's in Pennsylvania and Diana's in Mississippi. We've got about 190 team members across all of our departments. We've been in the industry for over 23 years, and we have retailers in literally every retail market. So anything from sporting goods to soft goods, apparel, footwear, specialty gifts, even hunt, camp, fish. We serve retailers in a lot of different retail markets, and we've got 1,800 retailers, but that represents probably over 4,000 storefronts. And today we're going to talk about a lot of different things. So first, we're going to talk about QuickBooks POS and the recent announcement. What is happening? When? We'll go through everything you need to know and hopefully clear up some misinformation that you might have heard. We're going to talk about key differentiators and how you can solve your challenge today, which of course is your point of sale is reached end of life, but also how you can do more than that, how you can help grow your business, expand your sales, and just get online and do more digitally, which probably is one of your goals as well. Then we're going to take a deep dive into the software. We're going to first look at the Celerant software. Scott is going to give us a product demo of the Cumulus Retail back office, point of sale, e-commerce, and then Diana is going to take us through the QuickBooks accounting software and show us how that integrates with the Celerant software as well. We're going to talk about how you as a QuickBooks POS retailer can easily transition, including data conversion and still using QuickBooks accounting. And then of course, at the very end, we'll answer any of your questions. So first, let's talk about the announcement, which is why everybody's here. QuickBooks Point of Sale has reached end of life. So what exactly does that mean? And can you still use QuickBooks Point of Sale after the date? And the answer is yes. Yes, you can. You're not getting kicked off QuickBooks Point of Sale. I personally have talked to tons of retailers these past couple of weeks and months. Some are completely panicking because they think they're getting kicked off. You're not getting kicked off. But that said, there's a lot happening, or should I say a lot changing, come October 3rd. And it's important for everyone to understand exactly what's changing. And you as a retailer can determine how much of an impact that's going to have on your business. And then you can determine, well, is this something you want to do now or wait until, the fall gets closer or even after the fact, because that is an option too. And you'll ultimately have to decide what works best for your retail business. But that said, let's talk about what's actually happening. So October 3rd is the date. That is the official date from Intuit for QuickBooks Point of Sale reaching end of life. That means after that date, there'll be no more software licenses available. If you want to open more stores, or if you want to add on a register for, let's say, your holiday season or something, you'll no longer be able to purchase licenses after that date. Also, of course, there'll be no more technical support. And with that comes also software updates, new features, and maybe even more importantly, security patches. So all of that is going to end on October 3rd. That said, you can still use the software. Of course, you can still use the software. It's not getting turned off. But perhaps even more important than all of that, and I think where, based on my experience in talking to so many retailers, where there seems to be maybe the most confusion is on this next slide. So the other really important factor is in October, all of those connected services to your QuickBooks Point of Sale are being disconnected. So what does that mean? That means payment processing. The integrated payment processing is being disconnected. Can you still process credit cards? Of course you can, but it'll have to be external and not within your point of sale software like you're probably doing now. Your gift cards, same thing. So integrated gift cards, that'll all be disconnected. So that won't be included within your POS. Multi-store connectivity. A lot of you on this call, not all, but some of you have multiple store locations. Some of you are also using the e-commerce integration called WebGility. So those are all considered connected services, and come October 3rd, all of those services will be disconnected. So your e-com site won't be integrated, and your multiple store locations won't be connecting their data to each other. So that should hopefully clarify some of the confusion. That is all taken right off of QuickBooks POS, right off Intuit's blog from their website. There's a link there where you can learn more about the what and when, and that's on the bottom there, celerant.com/QuickBooks POS End-of-Life. All one word, no spaces, no dashes. And that's all on that page. You can learn more. You can watch a video to learn more about the who, when, and what. That said, we'll shift gears a bit. And so now I want to introduce our software, which is Celerant Technology. We offer two platforms. We have our Cumulus Retail platform for smaller retailers, and then we have our Stratus Enterprise, which is really geared for still the small to mid-sized businesses, but more that upper end of the market, more advanced retailers. So regardless of which system is right for your business, the key is our entire retail software can manage your entire business in one system. And so again, right now your challenge is replacing that QuickBooks Point of Sale. And so we can do that. We'll replace your point of sale. And with point of sale comes inventory management, customers, pricing, promotions, loyalty rewards, buying clubs, reporting, everything you need to run your brick and mortar business. But we also offer a lot more than that. We can launch an e-commerce site for you. We can launch a mobile shopping app. It's all going to be integrated on a single platform. We even offer digital marketing. We have an email marketing platform. We offer SEO services. And then even more things like buy trade, consignment, rentals, repairs. There's just so much that our software can offer your business depending on your needs. But the beauty is it's all of your retail channels, your entire business, even your digital marketing, with one technology partner on one platform. So this is our phases chart, as we call it, and I love to share this chart because it really helps explain what I mean when I say not just replace your point of sale today, but really help you grow your business, help you expand, and of course, as it says, one step at a time. So at Celerant, we can help you do a lot more than just point of sale. And so phase one, as we call it, is really why everybody's here today. We're going to see the software. Scott is going to show us the Celerant point of sale, the e-commerce. That's your problem today, right? We need to get off QuickBooks and transition your business so that you're not scrambling later. But what we at Celerant are eager to help you do is get to what we call phase two. And that is really helping you expand your digital marketing strategy. So it's no secret, these last couple of years, there's been this huge digital explosion. Everybody is moving online. Everybody's selling online. You really need to get in front of your customers wherever they are and however they're shopping. And today, they're all shopping very differently than maybe they were 3 or 4 years ago. And it's not just because of the pandemic, it's also because of younger generations, younger shoppers, consumers coming in and just having different buying patterns. Even the older generation, they're doing buy online, pick up in store same day more than ever before. So expanding your digital strategy becomes super important. And so a lot of you here today might be doing email marketing. You might be using Constant Contact or maybe MailChimp or whatever you're using. And that's good because you're marketing, you're sending out emails. But how we can help is we have an email marketing platform that can replace your MailChimp. And our email marketing platform is connected and it's pulling your customer data, your sales data from your brick and mortar store, from your e-commerce, from your app if you have one. And it's enabling you to send really personalized messages based on triggers in the software. So when you send personalized emails, you actually can increase the success of your email campaigns by 6 times, as opposed to just sending out mass emails to your entire customer list. But it's all about the technology, and if you have the technology, that can help facilitate this. We also offer SEO services. So another important takeaway is if you have e-commerce or you're launching a new e-commerce site, it's what you do after your site goes live that will really determine the success of your site. And so Google is constantly changing their algorithm, right? Everybody wants to be on page 1 of Google. But when you launch a brand new e-commerce site, you are so one of many. And what do you do to get to page 1? Well, your website needs to be built with an SEO solid foundation, but it's the ongoing SEO services, search engine optimization, it's the content, it's the metadata, it's everything that goes into continuously updating your website so that you give Google what it wants and you get to page 1 and you stay on page 1. So that's what I mean when I talk about expanding your digital strategy, and we at Celerant can help you do all of that. The last phase is what we call phase 3, and this is really taking your business to that then next level. So a mobile shopping app. A lot of you, don't have an app currently, and hopefully everyone has e-commerce or maybe even not. But you think about a mobile app, Target, Walmart, Dick's Sporting Goods, and you may be thinking, well, how can I even do that? How can I launch an app? I can barely keep up with my store, my e-commerce. How can I now add on a new channel entirely? Well, when you have the right technology partner, it's a lot easier to do that because at Celerant, we can design your app. We're going to develop it. We can launch it for you. And if you have our e-commerce, launching your app just becomes that much easier. But the biggest thing is once you have an app and you encourage your customers to download your app, you're literally in their pocket, on their phone, and you can open up then a whole new way to market to your customers through what we call mobile marketing. And that's sending push notifications. You can bypass spam filters altogether. You can add it onto your email marketing, but just like you're sending out probably more emails than ever before, so are your competitors. And so a great way to break through that noise and a whole new way to market to your customers is by sending them push notifications direct to their phone, just like a text message through the app. And so these are just some of the ways in which, we would love to help you, not just with your point of sale, but help you with all of that as well to really help you grow your business. So up next, we are going to jump over to Scott. I'm actually going to give Scott control here so that he can show us a product demo. All right, Scott, you should be able to take it. So Scott is going to show Cumulus Retail. We're going to look at the back office software. We're going to look at point of sale, and then we're going to look at e-commerce as well. And then we'll flip over to Diana, who is going to give us a product demo of QuickBooks Accounting and actually show the integration and how it works with the Celerant software.
Okay, so Michelle, can you see my screen okay?
Yes, we can. We see Cumulus.
All right, perfect. All right, guys. So, if you decide to go with Cumulus, the first thing is you'd be assigned an implementation manager for your brick and mortar, and you'd be assigned one for e-commerce as well if you're going to do that. The point is that you have a person specifically assigned to you, and you have continuity of training, so they stick with you from start to go live date. In addition to that, we're going to take your databases and we're going to convert them, and you're going to begin training on your database so everything looks familiar to you. The implementation manager would start out, I'm not going to go through all the setup, I just want to touch base on a couple things so you can kind of see the logicality of the software and the user interface. But essentially, it would start out in system config, and you'd start to work your way across these tabs. And by the way, we have a new thing that was just added to the software, which we call our knowledge base. So if you hit the question mark button up here, which is just about on every screen, it gives you information pertinent to the screen that you're on. Except for maybe this one. No, it'll come up. So you can type in keywords, like if you don't know how to do a layaway, you want to look up, find me a voided receipt, all that stuff you can find out through the knowledge base. So here we are in the system setup. Of course, you do your store information, sales tax, create what kind of tenders you're going to accept. An important thing to note here is we have gift cards. They're internal to our system. They run real time. There's no charge to add to a card, redeem a card, or look up a value on the card. Point of sale. This is just ways of telling the system how to work, whether you want to log in after every sale, you have a dedicated cashier. You can create reason codes for returns, reason codes for taking a manual markdown at point of sale. We're going to jump here to the customer buying club. So we have a loyalty program built within the software, and that allows you to assign points based on dollars purchased. So the customer can earn so many points. You set the threshold, maybe it's 300 points. And then they are entitled to a $10 voucher. Well, that voucher can be given to them with instant gratification, cashier's notified at point of sale, and you can let them use the voucher. Another way of doing it is printing a coupon with the receipt, telling the customer on your next visit, starting tomorrow, you can use this voucher on your next purchase. So let's go back to the main screen here. I don't want to go to that one yet. Another important thing to note is if you go into products and setup, two things here, brands. Some of you might be in the hardware industry or sporting goods of sorts, where you might have multiple distributors that can provide the exact same product for you. Like in the pet industry, Iams Dog Food, you might have different distributors that you can buy from. So we differentiate between a distributor and the actual brand. So when you create a product, you assign the brand, the product information, and then you can associate as many different distributors to that product as need be with their manufacturer part number and their cost. And then you can identify one of them as your preferred vendor. That comes into play when you're creating fill-in purchase orders and also if you're creating special orders. The next thing down here is classification. I'm sure you have this in QuickBooks. We have a 3-tier structure here where these are all my departments for my mini department store. We can bring your departments over or you can rearrange them if you'd like. But let's say we're going to go into the hardware department. And I can break that down into what we call types. And then I can go down into the next level, which is subtypes. So we have sundries, what has brushes, roller sleeves, and rollers. So you can also search by any one of those fields. You can report at any level of those fields as far as profitability, gross margin, return on investment, et cetera. So let's just take a quick look at a product record. So I can search by any one or any combination of these fields. I'm going to go back to that classification search. I'm going to bring up some generic paint brushes. I think everybody can relate to that. Everybody's painted something in their lives. So we'll go brushes and we'll hit pick and we'll do search. And let's just say we're going to look at this item here. So the pencil thing there means I'm going to go in and edit. This is also where you would create new products if you have to manually key them in. We have other ways of getting product into the system where you can map, if the vendor can supply you a CSV file, you can map their data into the appropriate fields in Cumulus. And then we also have a catalog import that we have specific vendors or distributors that we're working with, which I'll show you that in a second here. But let's look at this real quick here. We got the classifications for this particular product, the brand, the product part number. There is a description to field that you can use if you want. I don't use it in my system right now. We can see what I currently have on hand, on order, and sold. There's additional information available here and while you're in purchasing. So if you want to see the last 13 months of sales of this product, received, sold, and end of month, I can see if this product is trending up or trending down. Let me just move a window here. And then the other metric that's available on this screen and also in purchasing is the SKU table, where I'm seeing by store what I currently have on hand, on order. And as most places in the system, you can modify tables like this by going into setup. Maybe I want to add sales for the period or net sold for the period. You can have all of these metrics abide by the same date range down here, or you can have them separated. So I want to have, well, what's on order for the month of July? What I sell in the last 6 months. So you can, or receive rather, or what I sell in the last 2 years. So you can put whatever date ranges you want, hit save, and it's going to update that table for you. So moving on down the list here, of course, we have the current retail price, the default cost, web price. If you have a web, you can actually have different prices on your website. Down here in the bottom, we have something called OF fields. It's a little redundant because OF stands for open field. So it's open field fields, but there are 6 of them to be used for whatever purpose you want. It's a way of cross-pollinating data amongst your department type and subtype. So for example, I chose to use one of these fields as location. So this could be location on the floor, location in the stockroom. This is an aisle 1, shelf 3. For those of you that might be carrying apparel or footwear, this is where you would set up your sizes. So let's assume now this is no longer paintbrush, but it's a t-shirt and I want to buy it in small through 2X. So I could just type the first letter of that matrix in there, pick the size matrix that I want to use, hit enter. It creates the sizes. If you have products that come in a width, like a jean, it comes in a waist and an inseam, the inseam would be the width. And then you can also add as many colors to this product as you want by clicking on each color that you may want to purchase this product in. Click OK. And it generates all the different sizes and colors for you. If you decide, well, I don't want to buy this item in a size small, I'm going to not let my buyer do that, we can nix it out, and that will not be available to sell or purchase. Next tab is your e-commerce tab. This is where you can set up products to integrate with our integrated e-commerce site. We also integrate to Shopify and to WooCommerce, but the integration to our own is much, much better than the other two. This is a really important button here. Use vendor e-commerce data. So you can put stuff on your website or make it available to sell that you don't even carry in your inventory. What's going to happen is when a customer places an order for a product, it will first look to your inventory. If you have it, it will indicate to you to pick, pack, and ship. If you don't have it, it will then look to your preferred vendor first to see if they have it. If they do, it automatically sends them a purchase order, indicating to them to drop ship to the customer, or if they're a firearm dealer or something like that, to the local FFL. You can change your department type, subtype for the web, so you can change those names to be a little bit more web friendly or exciting. If we go into set web product details, this is where you add all that additional information that you need to do is to really make it worthwhile on the web and have people actually find your product. You can embed video about the product. We can also utilize Google taxonomy. So once you have all this good information in there, we can hit save, and we can then say sell on web. I'm going to jump to the next here called back office. This is where you can actually exclude items from the buying club. In other words, customers won't get any points on this particular item. Could be services maybe that you provide. You don't want to give them points. And you can also do the reverse, where they get 2 points maybe for every dollar they spend on this particular item. Your last tab is your parts tab. And this is where you can indicate which distributor you can buy this product from. So I have their part number, their cost, which one is my preferred vendor, which I said comes into play when you're creating a suggested purchase order based on sales or based on min-max. And then I have my secondary vendor here as well. So that would be the manual way of getting product in or looking up information on existing product. So we're going to go out now and take a look at the catalog import process. So we go down here into vendor management and catalog item import. So here is a list, and this list is also on our website, of all the different distributors we're currently working with. So Ingram is a book distributor. Quality Bike Parts is obviously bikes. We have a lot of sporting goods, Orgill, Lawn and Garden, True Value, Hobby, some hobby ones. So we're adding to this all the time. If you have a big vendor in your playing field, in your space that you want us to take a look at, we'd be happy to see if we can create a catalog import with them. But to kind of show you how this works, I'm going to go into Orgill, which is Lawn and Garden. And it takes a second or two here just to load things up. Go to meeting, kind of slows it down a little bit because it eats up some of my bandwidth. So this should populate here very quickly. Okay. So a couple ways of importing products from any of these distributors. One is through vendor classifications. In other words, this is how they group their products in their catalog. So if I want to do just pet and wild bird today, I can do that. I can also type in specific item numbers. This is also available while you're at point of sale. So if you're doing a special order for a customer for a product that you don't have in stock or you don't carry, you can actually import that item number right from here. The other way of doing it is through vendor brand. So we have all these different brands here. I'm going to select Absolute Coatings. We'll click on next. And again, this would be a minor delay here until this populates. But essentially what it's going to do, it's going to look at Oracle's catalog and just parse out only the products that are from Absolute Coatings. This is color coded. If it's white, it's not in my system yet. If it's yellow, it's already here. If it's green, something has changed since the last time I touched it. And pink would indicate a new brand. So one of the nice things about importing from the catalog is you can assign your system attributes to it prior to importing. So let's just take these first two items here. We're going to do a bulk change selected. And now I can say, okay, let's put all these in my hardware department and in my, I said gift. Let's select the right one. And we're going to do hardware and paint. So I can do all the different attributes, the subtype, the OF field, e-commerce information, hit save, and you also have the ability to do pricing, retail pricing based on certain pricing rules. Like I could do, let's take all these items and do cost plus 30%. So it'll automatically give you the retail price, and then you can also round off to the nearest, like 99 cents or even dollars, however you want to do it. So it's a real fast, efficient way to get new products into your system if there are catalogs that we actually work with. Or if they're not, we're happy to try and set some new ones up. Next step after you get your products in would be to go into purchasing. And I'm not going to look at purchase orders because everybody pretty much knows what a purchase order is going to do. But we can do purchase orders and then receive against them. We can receive as many times against the PO as need be until that PO is complete or until you decide to close it out. We can also create replenishment orders. These orders can be done based on sales or based on min-max. Min-max is where you establish thresholds. When I fall 6 units of this hammer below 6, I want to order up to 12. Okay, so let's jump to point of sale. We're going to open up that window, and you can open up as many windows as you need to get through the system. It's a nice navigational tool that you can bounce back and forth between point of sale and all the different screens in back office. You have multiple monitors in your command center and have different screens on different monitors. So here's the point of sale screen. These fields going across here, you can define which ones are going to be apparent on your POS screen. Like if you're not apparel, you would not see size, width, and color. You can actually add line notes to every line that you enter in. There are about 40 some different column headings that you can use here or choose from. You can change the field names to whatever you want. If you don't want to call it product, you want to call it manufacturer number, you can. One second here. So over here on the right-hand side, these are what we call navigation buttons, and you also decide which ones you're going to show on your screen. So if you do a lot of special orders, rather than putting under a sub-menu, special order here, I can move that out to the main menu and have it positioned towards the top of the screen. So again, you design this the way you would do your business, and it's pretty flexible. So as far as getting customers onto the system, I have my system set up to always ask for customer first. I'm just going to type in last name. You can also type in phone number. You can type in email address, and you'll find the customer. So here's my customer. He's a member of the wine club. So we do have different club memberships you can set up. And then you can just start scanning product in, or you can also look at the customer information. So if I want to view customer, and this should take a second too. So we have first name, middle name, last name, company name, permission to email, call, or text. We do texting now. We have some triggers set up. Customer address, comments. These comments could be for your reference or for back office use only. I chose to use mine to print on every receipt that he gets. It's going to thank him for his business. Multiple ship to addresses. Membership rewards we talked about. You can also create discount templates, which can be cost plus pricing, retail minus, etc. If you have accounts that you allow people to charge, you can send them a statement at the end of the month. And you can also look up customer history. Let's see if I can move this button. She keeps getting in my way. There we go, view purchase history. So it's going to give me a quick overview of what I have this year's sales to date. You can see every single item that this customer ever bought, which means you can also market to it or against it. You're able to create a mailing list or emailing list from the reports. So I'm not going to spend any more time here because I know my time is running short. So I'm going to go in the back office quickly and just give you an idea of reporting, there are a bunch of reports here under sales tracking, like your register summary end of day. Then there's a whole list of reports for more performance tracking of your products and your employees and your customers. So we go into reporting. So we have all our customer reports. So I can do a customer mailing list based on purchase preferences. So I know the customers who have been in my store for the last 6 months, but last year spent over $1,000. Merchandise sold reports, employee matrix if you're doing products by size. Show you a quick example of a report, because all these reports can also be exported to a CSV file, a PDF, or an Excel file. So here's an example of a report, and it's a little bit interactive in that I can go, oh, let's go into my hardware department, and I want to see more detail on that. Let's break that down into flooring, hardware, paint. Let's go into sundries and just look at those products. So now you're down to the product level. Now, if you export this, like I said, you have the ability to do it in any one of these formats, and they do format pretty nicely. Okay, the last thing I want to talk about is e-commerce. How am I doing for time, Michelle? Michelle, how am I doing for time? I got a couple minutes yet?
I was on mute. You have a few more minutes, absolutely.
All right. So let's go to the e-commerce portion. So if you get an order that came in from your website, you would go into fulfillment and you would go through the process of print pick tickets first. So your employees would go out on the floor in the warehouse and go pull the merchandise. The pick tickets are barcoded, so when they get back to the shipping table or shipping area, they can scan the barcode that's on that pick ticket and they can do shipping. We do have something called scan code verification, that as they're packing the items into a box, they can actually scan each product. And if the product happens not to be on that that purchase order or that order, it means the employee picked the wrong item. Okay. A couple examples here I just wanted to show you real quick before I finish up, and that would be, this would be one of our websites on Cumulus. One thing I like about this site, as soon as you start scrolling down, you start to see product. Or you can also go through the departments and define what department. So there's all kinds of different filters available so the customer can navigate your website very easily. If we take a look at one of these boots here, has a really nice zoom where you can see all the detail of the boot. Then of course they can select what size they want. We have a one-page checkout then, and we can accept different forms of payment. These can be sent to the store. So we have buy online, pick up in store features as well. Let me just show you another website, and that would be this one here. This particular
also, I'll just add there, Scott, because that example you just showed also showed our Sezzle integration. So we do have multiple options available for buy now, pay later, and that particular Renegade website is using our Sezzle integration, which is a great option.
And we work with Sezzle, Klarna, and who else?
Affirm is coming very soon. Klarna,
that's right.
Sezzle, and Cordova.
So this particular site gives you a lot of information about who they are towards the bottom here. You can sign up for the news and news events, etc. So this is a really nice site. They do a really good volume. So the only last thing I want to mention would be what Michelle talked about, the mobile app. It's something relatively new for us, but it's something really exciting because it can really drive people to your store and allow you to market to them. So I just want to kind of reinforce that. So Michelle, that's it, I'm done.
Awesome. And just to add, the Renegade website that Scott showed, that was Cumulus eCommerce, and Mass General, this is Stratus eCommerce. So as I mentioned earlier, we do offer two platforms to the industry. Our Cumulus retail platform, which goes with our Cumulus eCommerce, is a lighter, more cost-effective solution, and our Stratus Enterprise is more feature-rich. It has more advanced functionality for our more enterprise type or advanced retailers. And so with that now, thank you, Scott. That was great. I am going to switch it over to Diana. And so while Diana is taking that, up next, we're going to look at a product demo of QuickBooks Accounting, because while you are, of course, planning to move off QuickBooks Point of Sale potentially, I would imagine most of you are going to want to stick with your QuickBooks Accounting, and of course you can. So Diana is going to show QuickBooks Accounting. We're going to talk about how we interface with both online and desktop. And also she's going to look at setup and mapping rules and sending over data to QuickBooks, sample journal entries, creating reason codes, and purchase order receiving. So Diana, we see your PowerPoint.
You see my PowerPoint? Okay, perfect. I'm gonna switch over to my screen. Okay, so what I'm gonna talk about first is just kind of going over the options that are available, and then we're gonna actually look at some of the interface with the QuickBooks desktop. We do have a QuickBooks Online interface. With this interface, we do a direct connection using the developer at intuit.com between your QuickBooks Online and your software with us, whether it be Stratus or Cumulus. And the direct connection is really the easiest way to work because you choose what you want to send over. Once you've done the mapping and the setup, we'll talk about in a minute, and it goes directly into your QuickBooks. It's just a one-step process, basically. You can send it over as often as you want. It is manual in that you have to choose what you're going to send. With the desktop, we do have to use Transaction Pro. We're going to export a file. We're going to look at this one today. We're going to export a file, and then we're going to send that over to QuickBooks Desktop. There is some setup to this, but of course, you want to map where you need everything to go. So we export your chart of accounts from your software, and we can import that into our software so that then the rules that we have set up, you can then map those to where you want them to go in the software. Also, available information to go to QuickBooks, and this is something that you can use all, or you can use as little as you want. Okay, so we send a point of sale journal entry. This includes everything that happens at point of sale. So your sales, your cost of goods, your inventory. We do move inventory into cost of goods using average cost times the quantity sold. We have payments, and you can map those according to which payments. So those are divided up. We can do deposits on layaways and special orders, and we can just take discounts to a different account also. We do inventory adjustments. That means anytime you adjust your inventory, whether it's a physical inventory or it's an inventory adjustment, it will actually send a journal entry to QuickBooks and make that adjustment in QuickBooks also. Of course, we want to keep QuickBooks and our QuickBooks and our system, especially when it comes to inventory, in sync. So that's why we do the inventory adjustment ones. Paid in and paid out. So an option you have at point of sale that Scott was showing you is that you can use your cash drawer as a petty cash drawer. We can set up reason codes for why you're taking money out of your cash drawer, whether it be to go buy lunch on a Saturday, or if it's to go purchase store supplies. So you can take it out. When you set the reason codes up, it's really great because that allows you to then move that information into that account with you not having to do adjustments. So you can actually map each of those reason codes to go directly to the account that you want them to hit in your QuickBooks. We can also do reason codes for adjustments, inventory adjustments. So like if you're donating merchandise, you don't want to go that to go through your sales because you don't want to skew your sales. So you can do that through inventory adjustments. We can set up a reason code for donations, and you can send it right into donations. Then also we've got PO receiving. So when you receive merchandise, you can add an invoice number to it, an invoice date, a due date, freight if needed, and then that information, that receiving information, can go into QuickBooks as a bill for you to pay. All right, so now I'm going to change my screen, and we're going to actually go look at the process. So I've got my Celerant here. In Celerant, I've done some transactions, but we're going to go look at the accounting, kind of the setup, just kind of an overview. So under setup, we have the accounting setup. I'm just going to do my store one. So I imported my chart of accounts. Let me see if I can move that a little bit. I import in my chart of accounts so that I can then map. So hold on a second. I didn't get that low, quite low enough. I don't know if you can see that or not, but so I can assign the GL account numbers. So through the action button, I can import my chart of accounts. And then once I've imported the chart of accounts, it's available through Assign GL account. So I can click my Assign GL account and there's all my accounts. Now, let's say you don't have an account in your QuickBooks yet and you say, okay, I need to add a new account for this. That's okay, because we can go back and grab that chart of accounts and re-import it again, and then the account's there for you to map. So you're able to map all the different reason codes that we have that need to go into QuickBooks. Okay, so after you get through with the mapping part, now we're ready to export. So we have two different exports. We have the export that is the journal entries. I'm just going to choose today because you can choose as many days as you want to, or we can use this check mark and show everything that hasn't been posted. I can separate it by store, and I can separate it by transaction that I'm sending over. Okay, so I'm going to just do everything to make it a little bit quicker, and I'm going to hit search. And these are the journal entries. So I made an inventory movement for us to look at, a register payout, and sales. Now, if I want these to go over if I was doing online and I chose all three of these and exported it, I would get 3 different journal entries. With the desktop, if I choose all 3 at one time, I'm gonna get 1 journal entry for the day. So if I wanted it to be 3 separate journal entries, I would just do them one at a time. So I'm going to go export to file. And it does ask me if I want to mark it posted. I haven't been because I want to be able to show it to you again. Everything that we send out and it hits your download folder. Also, if you see in the bottom left-hand corner of my file, it's sitting right there too. So now I'm going to send this one out. And I'm going to send it because I want to show you 3 different files. I have it already in there as one file, so we can look at that also. Export. Okay. So now I've sent them out. Now they're ready to go into QuickBooks. So what we use for QuickBooks is Transaction Pro. And the Transaction Pro allows me to take the information that I just exported and put it in QuickBooks. Once it's set up, you don't have to do the remapping every time. I've already mapped mine, but I can just go grab my file. And again, they're in the export folder. So I can just grab the file that I need. And then I can do next. Now I've already got this set up because it is comma delimited, and I'm telling it I want it to be a journal entry. There's my journal entry. I just do next. I've already got my mapping set up. Now, I didn't save this before, but I go through all of this with you. So you're not going to have to set it up by yourself. I or one of the other trainers will walk you through the process, make sure that everything is set up and mapped properly, and then we give it to you. And we also have a help desk if you ever need any assistance with it. Okay, so everything is set up to go in, and I do next. This part, you don't have to set up if you're doing a journal entry, but I don't think it's going to hurt anything if I have it there. And it says, do you want to send it over? And I click OK, and so now that is in my QuickBooks. So when we go into QuickBooks to see what that looks like, I can actually go into my chart of accounts. There's different ways, and if you know, you probably know QuickBooks better than I do, but there's different ways for us to get to that information. What I'm going to do is just go into my chart of accounts and kind of download into a journal entry. So this is the one I just sent over. So we send over sales, merchandise, and any payments, and all the payments can be set up and mapped anywhere you want them to go in QuickBooks, and your sales tax also. So then if we go, let's see, I think there was another one that I did. Let's go back to the list. Let's see. There we go. Okay, so this is one that I did that has an AR payment on it, cost of goods, special order deposits. So everything that happens to point of sale, we are bringing over. Okay, we also bring over the payables. If I go back into my Celerant, we've got the payables export. With the payables export, the same way, you're exporting your bills. So I have matched these to my invoice. I have added my freight and my information. So I'm ready now to send this over to QuickBooks. I can choose one or all, and it's easy as action, export my journal entry. Now, once I export my journal entry, again, I'm going to go use my Transaction Pro. And this time I'm going to tell it I'm doing a bill. So I can then go find that bill that I created that needs to be brought over and open it and just go through the process. Again, once everything's mapped, this is pretty easy to do. I'm just clicking through it and it's going to QuickBooks. Okay, so now if I go back into my QuickBooks and I'll look under my vendors, we can see all the bills that I have entered. And in that bill, you have your inventory and your freight, if freight is added. So this creates your bills. From here, you can do, just like with the journal entries, once it's in QuickBooks, if you want to make adjustments, of course you can. It's set up so that you can. And you can make changes or delete them and send them over again if needed. Okay, and that's pretty much it. So that gets the information from our system into your QuickBooks for your financial reporting. Okay.
All right.
Michelle, back to you.
Yeah, so let me share my screen again. Just bear with me for one moment.
There.
You should see my screen now, right?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great.
Yes.
So thank you, Diana. So that gives a good feel for the QuickBooks software and the integration and all of the different areas that Diana just gave us a little training session on. And also worth noting, Diana is one of our implementation managers, one of our many. So when you become a new Celerant client, you actually get assigned a dedicated IM implementation manager, someone just like Diana, or maybe even Diana, and that person will help you with the entire process, the go live process, the training, setting all this up, as Diana mentioned, and basically setting up every other aspect of your system as well, and taking you all the way through to your go live. So a couple of quick slides left. We've got 10 minutes left. I want to be mindful of time, and we are on schedule, which is good. So quick slide here. We really want to help make your transition easy and as smooth as possible. And as I mentioned earlier, some of you are probably, well, I know some of you here are already starting the transition and are already training with Diana and getting started. More of you probably are looking to explore options, which now's a great time, you know, doing this over the summer, preparing before October. Many of you, I'm sure, will wait until even after October or the end of the year or even next year, and that's fine too, because again, whatever works for your business is what's best. But we are offering a promotion to help those of you who are interested in transitioning now. We're offering your a 1 month free of the SaaS, and so that could be your point of sale, your e-commerce, your digital marketing, whatever you're looking to get in your package, you'll get an entire month for free. We're also offering all of your vendor integrations for free, and that's forever. So Scott showed how we integrate with a lot of distributors, and we have the catalog import and ordering. And by the way, for e-commerce, we also have online product fees and drop ship. So as part of this promotion, you will get unlimited vendor integrations for free, and also credit card devices. So depending on which payment processor you choose, we didn't talk about that, but we do offer multiple options. So we're not going to force you into one processor. We have 4 different options, some of which are gateways. So you can really choose, again, which works best for your business. And so depending on the processor you select, we're offering free credit card devices as well. Most importantly, though, we are also offering a special 50% off your data conversion. So we know you're coming from QuickBooks. We've converted QuickBooks data all the time. So we can pull your customer data, your inventory, product data, even your sales data, and we can take that out of your QuickBooks point of sale and get it into your new Celerant software so that when you go live, everything you need is there. And as part of this special, we're offering that, that service at 50% off. And so at this point, I want to take some time for Q&A. We have actually a bunch of questions that have been coming in, and we do have a couple of 8 minutes or so left. So if you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the question pane over there on the webinar screen there. And so let's jump in. The first question is from Ziggy. And so this is, I'd like to see how Celerant integrates with accounting software such as QuickBooks or Xero. I would like, I would have to start with Cumulus. I'm also concerned about creating corporate invoicing as we sell to the government and contractors, and would like to do all of this at the point of sale. So we did, this question came in before we showed QuickBooks. So hopefully we answered that first part. But of course, if you want to have a one-on-one demo and see more, we absolutely can schedule that for you. But Scott or Diana, can you speak to the second question, which is about corporate invoicing with Cumulus?
Diana?
Well, I want to, yeah, and I want to do, I want to say something too about the software. When you use the file import, like I use today, where it goes to a journal entry that's a file that can be imported, that is not limiting you to QuickBooks. I have clients that are using Peachtree, that are using Sage. So that file can be imported into other accounting softwares as well. It's not limited just to QuickBooks, because I know he asked about a couple of other softwares for accounting. Yes, we do have a add-on that's called sales orders. And if you're going to for a government, a sales order is a great thing to add on to your system and have it export to an invoice 8.5 by 11 that then can be emailed to the agency if it's a government agency. You can do that also with like a special order. It will work for printing 8.5 by 11s, but I think, Scott, if I'm right, I like the sales order when you're dealing with agencies and billing and stuff like that.
Yeah, the nomenclature is better, I think, as far as presented.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. Next question is from Roger, and Roger asked, at what point in the sale process does sales tax become a liability? When written, when delivered, or when paid in full?
When delivered. That one's easy.
Okay, there we go.
Yes, it does not, invoice or receipts do not count as sales or collect sales tax until it's closed and the merchandise is taken with the client, with the customer.
Okay. This is also from Ziggy. Can you also demonstrate your goods receiving process? So we don't have time left for the demo portion, but absolutely, Ziggy, we can schedule a one-on-one, and Scott can take you through all of it and show you all of that and answer any questions you have, more so one-on-one to get a full demo. This was just a quick little intro demo.
For sure.
The next question is from Tony. What is the recommended internet speed?
Good question. Do you know, Diana?
No, I don't. That's not, I would have to ask support. We might have to get back to him on that one, Michelle.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure myself what what that recommended speed might be. But I can tell you, as long as you have a sturdy, stable internet, you should be fine. And we also offer what's called always on point of sale with our Cumulus platform, and of course Stratus as well. And what that means is, while we're a SaaS browser-based, internet-based solution, we can offer our always on, which has local redundancy. It's an on-site server, so that even if your internet goes down, your store is not down, and you can fully process sales and access customer data, and your store won't be affected if you do lose internet. So that's an option that's available as well. But we'll get back to you for sure on that specifically, and I'll send that to you in an email, Tony. Next, this is from Roger. What furniture catalogs do you have in-house? So I'm assuming that means our vendor integrations. And so we have a lot of different vendor integrations, mostly with distributors. We don't have them yet in all markets, although we are eager to keep on growing and keep adding on to our catalog. And so in the furniture market specific, Scott, do we have any that are specific? I know we have some office furniture. We've got educators resource. We've got another one that's specific to office furniture, but I'm not sure yet how much we have in the home goods furniture space.
Yeah, nothing that I know of right now.
Okay. But that said, again, I know I'm being repetitive, but this is usually where my role comes in. I talk to the vendors, I get those conversations going, and we are eager to add on as many different vendors and catalogs and ordering and online feeds as we can in all the different markets. We have a lot in the sporting goods space, the bike space, hunt, camp, fish, pet shops, hardware stores, supply stores, books. And so our list keeps growing and growing. So hopefully, and a lot of times it's with the help of retailers, our retailers who become clients, that help us get our foot in the door and help us get more traction in those markets that you serve. Okay, next is from Noah. If I am searching for pricing and availability of an item, can you search live inventory from multiple vendors? Scott, you want to take that one? Again, our vendor integration question.
Through the catalog import, or just looking for products that are in your system? They're already loaded up.
Yeah, so they're just asking are they able to search for pricing and availability with live inventory. So that's more on the e-com side, through our e-com product feeds. That's where you'll have the inventory count, the on hand, and all of that data coming from your vendors.
That could also be in the back office product search screen, where you just say, show me everything in this classification or department, and it'll show all the products with available on hand, no matter what vendor it's from. As long as you don't choose that. So that could answer the question too.
Yep. All right. 2 questions here from Tony. Again, so do you have to bring bills and sales over separately? Diana, this is you.
Yes, they do, because it's separate exports. I mean, we're sending the sales over as a journal entry. We're sending the bills over as, the payables over as a bill, or the receiving over as a bill. So it's 2 different exports. So yes, you'd have to do the first one and then the second one. It would be separate.
Okay. And next question from Tony as well. Can we see a deposit of the individual checks?
You can't, I'll jump in.
Yeah,
Under sales tracking, we have several different ways to look at the information. You can pull up a list of just the checks individually, and we can also do it as a summary.
Great. And then Noah has a question here, and this will be for you, Scott. How do we determine what data conversion will cost? For example, 50% off what? So great question. So I can say, though, that we can pull different types of data, whether it's product data, sales history, customer data, and of course, how many years worth of data you want to bring over will be a factor. And the promotion, of course, is 50% off. But Scott, what typically would you say ends up being the cost for a data conversion?
The starting price is like $1,000, so half of that.
There you go. All right, and also from Noah, do you offer a sandbox environment for potential customers or new customers?
I can answer that. We do not. However, I like to do with customers that request that what I call guided discovery. And so I'll spend whatever time is needed to go through the software together, give you the reins, give you control, and let you go where you need to go, but have me there to answer questions as you proceed.
Yep. And last question, because we are over time. We're now a minute over. So thank you, everybody, because everybody's still on the call, which is great. So the last question is how much? And so that's a great question. And we have our pricing right on our website. So if you go to Celerant.com, and then you'll see there's a pricing section at the top there, you'll see all the pricing, but of course I can share that here as well. Our point of sale for Cumulus starts at $125 per month. And then the e-commerce starts at $250 a month. And then of course we can do a bundle as well where it's both. I think Scott, that's $350 for the two combined. And then depending on your market, if you're a hunt camp fish merchant, we have different price bundles that includes very specific things that we know those retailers need, like by trade and different things for that as well. And so all of that pricing can be found online. And with that, this last slide that I just want to put up here, you can visit that page there, Celerant.com/QuickBooks POS. There is a 10-minute product demo. Of course, you saw the demo here today, but there's much more to see in that demo. The pricing is also up on that page. And a video is there as well, just recapping everything. There's my face again, but a recap video just talking about what's happening with QuickBooks and when. And we're eager to talk. We're eager to schedule a one-on-one session if you'd like to have a personal demo or just have questions. You all have my email address. That's where you got the webinar link, so feel free to send me a note. Scott, Diana, I thank you both very much. And thank you everyone for joining, and have a great day.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.